different approach, different mentality to maximize, how good you're playing and maximize the potential of your teammates too. You really want to elevate everybody's game around you. Let's see who can get the better of each other in this round.
All right, so let's hop into the match here now and take a look at things over here on the left side. You can take a look at the rosters in case you didn't have a chance to check it out for yourself. Starting on the right side for the red team on Top Gun, it's Griffin, Death Row, Pit, and Thump. Griffin playing on the Ranger, Death Row on the Sorlag, Pit on the Clutch, so you got the pretty standard roster there that we've been seeing today. Thump on the Anarchy. Meanwhile, on the left side, for when in doubt, Gauntlet out, it's going to be Shadow Master 666 playing on the Ranger, Pyro on the Nyx, Napalm 3D, who I believe we saw yesterday, playing against Johnson, actually, if I recall that correctly. He's going to be going up against the Scale Bearer, and then last but not least is Messick on the Anarchy. So very similar lineups, same as before. One team going with a slightly squishier alignment of players there. When in doubt, Gauntlet out, bringing a Nyx into the fray instead of something like another Sorlag or a Clutch. Meanwhile, obviously on the right side, they've got the two tankier champions that are great for defending and running interference on points. And obviously the two other players that are going to be a little bit faster, better for actually running the orb itself and kind of running interference outside. But we are live into the match. So let's take a look at some of the initial plays here. Shadow Master already going off with a super shotgun. Look at this triple kill right at the start for him. Nicely played out.
Hey, I got messaged by this guy. You're supposed to refer to him as Dark Lord Shadow Master.
Apologies. I didn't get the
Hey,
memo.
if he keeps killing like that, maybe we'll oblige him.
Yeah, so we'll have to see later on. However, his team's attempts to initially claim the soul are not going to work out. So Pyro stole it at the last second. He's actually, he's trying to ditch this soul right off the map, as I think they want to take that over to the lava pit instead, and they have teammates waiting at the soul point. So they go for that reset again too. They're going to be able to do that, and now complete the run to the lava pit, as they do not want to take the church obelisk initially here.
Interesting that they didn't want the church obelisk. Based on we kind of saw from Team Johnson that was obviously their favorite side. They made really great work defending over there.
And now Messick trying to hold on. They're trying to stop this run from being completed again off the map with the obelisk. Or excuse me, off the map with the soul itself. So that thing it should be reset in a moment. Let's see, there we go. Now it finally comes back up. It took a minute to respawn there for some reason. So Shadow Master, or Lord Shadow, whatever it is, Shadow Master, picking it up again and then tossing it over to the other side. He's actually doing quite a bit of Jesus, it gets tossed off again. And Pit, just as it's getting tossed off, knocks out Shadow Master as well. So nobody can seem to hold this thing, and when they do, they just keep tossing that thing off the map to reset its position. Griffin, I think, is finally going to complete a run, though, getting it in to team number 2's, or to the red team, excuse me, Obelisk here in the church, and that's going to put it under the control of Top Gun finally. And it looks like they should be able to hold it at least for a few seconds here before interference is run by the guys from When in Doubt Gauntlet out.
Yeah, 10 seconds on the power up. So whatever team you're on right now, you guys got to be grouping up and make sure you get this.
Yeah, Griffin running back over here now. He's able to extend himself a little bit from the point to try and go for the power-up. Unfortunately, did not want to challenge the rush from the Scale Bearer on the other team, so he did just let him have it and allowed him to make a run really quickly over there to pick up that power-up. However, he didn't last forever. It actually got dropped here, so now Pit's going to be able to move it again, but that gets dropped too, and Shadow Master should be able to go in and pick up the protection. He's got it. He's going to be working off point with it a little bit here as he tries to move in, and now finally gets onto the offensive to try and steal this thing. Doesn't have a whole lot of time left on that protection, but thankfully his teammates are supporting him, and now he's got the soul, so should have just enough time to complete a run across the map while still having the power-up to support him and stop him from taking a whole lot of damage, although that rail is going to be quite annoying. His teammate eats a shot for him there. Eats it right up, and now he's so low, but that protection, it was saving his life, but it expired just before he got over to the point, so he actually didn't make it all the way, and now the enemy claims that soul back, and they toss it off the map again so that they can attempt to steal it and take it over to their side, but it still ends up under the control of the red team, under the control of Top Gun, as they will take it into the church and give full control, and now we'll get to start stacking up their percentage once more.
Yeah, a little hectic at the start. Seems like Top Gun's starting to settle in here, and starting to get better at these engagements. Even when Gauntlet out, they had their power up run there. They really didn't get much off of it. You know what I mean? So you got to give Top Gun credit right now for starting to lock it down.
Thump with some nice rocket work here too. Picks up one kill, denies the second one as Thump gets it back. So nicely played from him. He is going to be able to stop those opponents from being able to steal the soul, but once again, will continue to do that, actually. Even after the soul gets taken away, he just throws it right back into the point. Unfortunately, he's going to go down there to Pyro, so he'll get another opportunity to leap back in here and steal again, although there is resistance ready to be run from the bottom and the top of this point. Oh, no. Throws it right onto an opponent's body as soon as he picks it off the point, so not going to be the best run for him. Death Row now doing work with the nail gun from on top of the point, but taken down by Shadow Master. Shadow Master goes off. Maybe it'll... No, again denied here. Thump is going to be able to pick it back up, and he runs it right back onto the obelisk here as they're now pushing past 70%.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that initial choice. Remember, they took the soul away from that and decided to defend the other one initially. So it's really working out for Top Gun right now, because you know, that strong defense point. I really do think it's the better of the two.
Yeah, now it's Messick getting control over the soul here. Keeping it in the middle, though, and just keeping it sort of contested for the time being, not necessarily fully running it over. There's still the potential for enemies to be stacked on top of that point, so I think he wants to wait until he has a few of his teammates with him here, but decides to go in with only one supporting him, and unfortunately, as a result of that, he's just going to get completely destroyed by Pit, and now Pit on the clutch should have an easy run back over to the other side here, right over to the point. Excuse me, inside of the church. But actually, no, again, he got stuck on the wall right at the end there, didn't run inside, so Shadow Master steals it back, and the soul will remain contested for some additional time here. And Shadow Master continues to try and complete this run, but again, only ends up tossing it right into his opponent's arms, and they just want to reset it at this point, so that thing is going to go back to the middle. Messick is now going to be able to pick it up again, but he may not be able to hold on to it for very long. No, he's also taken down by Death Row. Griffin picks up the soul, misses the toss. No, he just tossed out his ability there too, and now it's tossed off the map again. It's going to go back to the middle here, where Death Row should hopefully be able to get it, but no, Pyro sleuths in, takes it, but only for a short time, as now it goes back under the red team's control. It's just all over the place currently. Shadow back under the control with the soul once more. Might not be able to hold on to it, though. Does portal in front of his opponents, but Thump is actually going to be able to pick it back up, and now maybe can make this run. No, there's two more enemies in his way. No one can get this thing onto their point. It's very important that the blue team keeps his denial going, but finally Thump completes the run over to point A.
Yeah, again, just it's a little craziness there for a while, but you know, everybody's stuck with it. Just keep diving on that soul after a while because it was in the balance, and you got to give them credit for just winning a lot of these team fights. You know, really putting pressure on their opponents.
And Shadow Master from the outside is trying to snipe out some players, but well, he's going to find himself getting sniped there just a few moments later. And we do have another power-up spawn coming in a second here, so that should... Actually, it may not even become relevant here since blue team unfortunately just got pushed off the obelisk for the last time, and even though it'll spawn and the blue team will get control over it, the round's already over there. And it is going to look like the Top Gun will be able to control round number 1. They go up with the lead early on in this first map.
Yeah, it started off a little crazy, but once they, you know, got the obelisk back at their point and really started, you know, locking in their defense, you know, Gauntlet out really couldn't get much momentum. Even when they got the power up, didn't really get much from it. So, you know, Top Gun's doing a hell of a job right now.
Start off looking at the perspective of Shadow Master here. He's doing some good work, and he's going to start it off again with some great work here. Telefrag right into a rail shot. His teammates take out the third player sitting in the rail room. Now looking for another one here as he jumps back down. The soul should be spawning in a second. His teammate does have a lot of presence around it, but so do his opponents. And Thump is going to pick it up, quickly rocket jumping past this, and now trying to make a fast run over into the lava pit. He'll complete that run, get it on to Obelisk B. And there we go, secures that one, but it's not going to be anywhere safe just yet. Blue team is already on the way with the full force of their roster. And as for Top Gun here, they only really have 1 or 2 players at this point. Thump's going to have to try and hold this off basically solo. He's knocked out one, but gets traded out by Napalm. And now he can go onto the point, but thankfully, the cavalry has arrived. There's more players arriving here from the red side, from the side of Top Gun, and they should be able to restore the peace a little bit and make sure that that stays on the lava pit.
Again, you know, they swapped this time up. I really like to get inside, you know, the team conversations, understand their thinking behind, you know, which side they go to, or if it's just what's convenient to them, you know what I mean? So, because it just seems like maybe they just feel they have such a big advantage in terms of, you know, how the fights are going, that it doesn't matter and just get it to whatever's convenient at that point. Or if it was a closer, maybe more intense battle, would they really prefer site A over site B? I just don't know.
Well, Pyron was able to deny the recap of the soul there. He's now trying to run it back, but only at 11 HP. This thing is going to get dropped in a moment if he's not careful. Getting a little bit lucky with the way he's lining up some of these rail shots, but now Griffin, he's going to take it back. Rocket jumping his way past his opponents here in the middle. And now trying to complete the run. He's got support ready to go, so he'll just toss that over to Pit. And Pit can, you know, easily toss that thing into the site. So they're going to have that working for them and can continue to stack up towards 100% where they would be able to win this map and they claim this round. First power-up spawn is happening in just under 10 seconds, though. It's very important, but here's the thing. Look, Pit's the only player in the middle right now actually contesting for it. There's a very real chance that Gauntlet out would be able to steal this. And in fact, they do. They get the protection on their Nyx, which will be able to help them back out here. And even after the Nyx drops, I think they're going to be able to keep it on there. So they'll now run over, be able to claim the point. Thump, however, did get back control over the protection, so he has that going for himself too. Despite losing initial control over the Soul, that's going to go back under his team's control a moment later. Thump finally able to finish off this player chasing him down. He does have to move in to try and recover a little bit of his health, and he actually wants to help out with the defense while he still has this power up. So even going to be able to go in and get the mega health there too, and now just facing off against a few straggling players while still out in the open here as his power up is ticking down. Did some great work with it, kept them away from the point at the very least, and allowed all of his own teammates to regroup on that point, so that anyone that tried to run towards it would pretty much just get torn to shreds essentially.
Yeah, we keep seeing it in all these matches, how pivotal, securing the power up is, and how much you can swing a match, into a team's favor. So when you secure that power up, like he just did, I mean, it just makes everything so much easier on your team, and it buys you time. It really does. I mean, look at the, when he grabbed the power up compared to when it was now, they probably a good 25% went by.
Nice attempt of a theft there from Pyro. Unfortunately, he was alone. All of his teammates died when he got close to him, so he couldn't complete that napalm. May be able to save this now, though, as he does manage to get the Soul off point. He's going to have to try to take point, however, since his Nyx is currently carrying the Soul. I really haven't tried to toss that over to him just yet, since he could try to make that run a little bit quicker, but thankfully, he helps him get past it anyway. And finally, the guys from the blue side on When in Doubt, Gauntlet Out are going to be able to complete a run and actually get the Soul into their obelisk for at least a few ticks here.
Yeah, they just need to try to stabilize the point and get ready for this next power up. If they can stabilize their defense and get a good power up run, they can get themselves back in this match.
Thump, however, has already stolen it back, so that could be the problem, as they managed to complete the power up run, and oh no! Napalm tried to escape, and now it's way over at the mid-port here, so they do have to use an orb to get way over onto that side of the map. The Soul is actually probably just going to sit there if they don't go for it soon, which means in a moment, it'll end up getting reset, which means there's going to be a fight over both the Soul and the power-up. They move in for it. Thump slides through, though, getting some nice kills on the Gauntlet. The Soul finally respawns here, and for Messick, he is going to be able to steal that back and take it over to the church spawn, where, again, when in doubt, Gauntlet Out is going to have a little bit of time to try and stack it up. Unfortunately, they let their opponent have control over the power-up, so it's very easy for the red team, for the guys on Top Gun, to be able to sling back in here with that power-up under their arms and now steal the Soul back out of the church.
Yeah, Top Gun just moved in as a full group, supporting their quad carrier and easily just took the Soul.
Oh, a little bit of trouble here. He can back up, though. He does have some pickup sitting behind him. However, he's not going to be able to resist that. Pyro does move in, takes him down with relative ease. And for the rest of these guys, well, most of the blue team is being kept off point. Nice enough from Shadow Master, though, doing a lot with a little here when you look at the guns he actually has. Manages to clear out the site with that one, and it's going to force full respawn of the entire Top Gun roster. They're past 90% now. So this is getting extremely dangerous for When in Doubt, Gauntlet Out. And oh, a nice toss back by Griffin. It's not actually going to secure him the recap. However, Shadow is still... Oh, no, he missed the jump, too. He's going to have it back, and now Thump steals it away. So Thump should be able to recap it, and indeed, it goes back into the lava pit and back under the control of Top Gun, where they're only 5% away from a map 1 victory.
Yeah, looking like they're going to close this map out. I mean, I don't see them turning it around right now. Gauntlet Out looks like they're going to have to regroup for the next map.
They steal it away here for a moment, but they already have control over it back, and it's gone into their obelisk. So there you go. Up to 100%, and Top Gun is going to be able to close out 2-0 here now and take quick control of map number 1, handing them up 1-0 in the series.
Dominant. Pretty much, outside of a few areas here and there, right? I mean, they just really controlled the match and put it on them. So Gauntlet Out needs to get a little desperate, pull out those gauntlets, and just make it happen.
Absolutely. Well, that does conclude map 1, and if you caught it in the chat there, I think we're actually going to have Lockbox played for the first time today, so that should be interesting, assuming that was the correct person I read saying that. So hopefully we get to jump onto that map. That's a new one. That's one that, like I said before, we've seen the other 3 maps played. We've mainly been going back and forth between the map we just played and Ruins of Sarnath. We did see the other map a little bit earlier, but this is the first time I think we're actually going to see Lockbox played today on the stream.
Yeah, it is. I haven't seen it yet. I've been running around on it a decent amount. Still not as familiar as I am with the other maps, but I'm looking forward to seeing how these teams. Again, I'm always interested to see, what's their approach? What obelisk do they want? How do they set up the defense? Do they send everybody for the power up? Do they leave one back at to defend the obelisk and maybe send 3 for the power up? Or how do they coordinate their champion abilities to secure the soul, secure the quad or protection? There's a lot of interesting little plays that go on, and every team may have their own idea of what strategy works best. So it's always nice to see those gameplay variations.
Well, it's time to jump into it here now. As you hear the countdown going on in the background, we can hop back into the match. For those that are just joining us, Top Gun currently holds the lead after taking map number 1, but this potentially surprise pick from When in Doubt Gauntlet out may throw them off a little bit and allow for them to take it to a map 3 for the first time. Also on the stream today. Would be the first time we'd seen that happen, but let's take a look. Let's jump back in, and let's see if there's going to be any revenge claim for When in Doubt Gauntlet out, or if it's still going to be dominance for Top Gun, as they'll be able to claim the 3rd slot in the North American Regionals for Sacrifice.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they, maybe they spent a lot of time on this map, and this is kind of their go-to map. So maybe they're just hoping this will throw Top Gun off a little bit, like you said.
Yeah, that's gonna be the hope. So,
I mean,
unfortunately, there's not a whole lot to go off of with what we saw in the last map, though. I mean, there was a few moments where When in Doubt Gauntlet was able to get some good obelisk control, and they maybe contested the power up a few times. But I mean, for the most part here, it's the same as our previous match, just not as dominant. Where Top Gun pretty much had control over all the important fights, all the important power-up spawns, and usually got the initial soul spawn as well. Was able to pick that up and run to their choice. So with that kind of an advantage, that doesn't leave much hope for When in Doubt Gauntlet going into a second map. But like I said, the lockbox pick is a surprising one. So we're gonna have to see if that pays off here now for When in Doubt. And while they're starting it off well, there's no surprise to see Shadow Master going off at the initial spawn of things here, and actually is doing a great job of trying to hold back a few of these players here. Just can't shut things down as easily just yet here. As the red team does push back in, the soul spawning out here, but look at that from Shadow Master, doing some serious work. And with that, he is going to be able to nearly lock down the soul. Unfortunately, that was the one aspect of that fight that he actually lost there. He did end up going down, and with that, got distracted too. So that did allow for the guys on Top Gun to steal it away, and now they still get initial soul control and initial obelisk control too.
Yeah, so now they got, I was looking at the 2 obelisks earlier today, and I was kind of contemplating, again, which would I choose? And I like this one over here again. It's kind of like Church in the last map, where you have some high position, where you can shoot down onto the obelisk area with rocket launcher. It's really advantageous for team defense.
Messick still trying to push himself over towards this obelisk too, but unfortunately everyone on Top Gun is just completely shutting down any attempt. It's a very tight room, a very tough room to actually pierce their way into, so the blue team is having such a rough time when in doubt. It's just having to go with these picks that they can sneak off every once in a while, but no one can actually seem to get onto the point to start stealing it here. They're making very slow progress, kind of whittling down the members of Top Gun, but the problem is they're getting these kills so slowly that I fear the respawns are eventually going to catch up with them. Napalm moves in, he'll be able to steal that soul, just tosses it away, but as he tosses that back up, no one has been able to claim it back just yet, and even when they do, it is going to be a red team member that picks it up and takes it right back over to Top Gun's obelisk.
Yeah, Death Row, team Top Gun all over it right now. Power up is really, Gauntlet out, pretty much their only chance right now. They turn this around with the way things are going. They really need this power up. I can't say it enough.
Yeah, Messick, again, sneaking out with the soul this time, and I think the power-up spawn actually did throw that off. The problem is, though, is that the guys from Top Gun are still going to be able to move in, get the initial spawn, get themselves the protection, and as a result of that now, they can very easily just re-engage on this new point. In fact, they already have. They've jumped onto it here. Messick trying to deny it. Thump's already stolen it off the point. Teammate's going to run to pick it up, and this is Pyro. It's not the one that currently holds the protection, as that is another player. That's actually an enemy now. I just realized they stole that back. I thought it was still the guys from Top Gun that had control of it, but apparently, When in Doubt managed to get it back too. However, Griffin's still able to make a run. He's back to middle now, and he got the power up back too, but it's not going to last for very long. It's already expired. Thankfully, with that protection, though, he's able to rocket jump a little bit more liberty. Oh, no. He messed up here. He jumped down into the pit. He might not be able to complete the run now. And no, Shadow Master takes him down, but Shadow Master also goes down. Pyro claiming it now, an up-close rocket shot, and it looks like he's just going to be able to escape as he wipes the board clean of everybody from Top Gun in this room.
A little oops there. We thought, after all that nice movement, he was able to get out of there, and just the brick it at the end like that must be so disappointing for him.
Oof, so it's going to go right back under the control of Gauntlet out here now. As they're already putting up a much better contest this time. Still very far behind the overall score here so far for Top Gun. And in fact, once again, while only getting about 4% on that cap, Thump is just going to take it right outside of the enemy's obelisk and start running it back over to B, where they'll have better control of this one. Thump has his whole entire team supporting him there. I think he actually did just miss the armor pickup, which he was hoping to get. And there's so many enemies waiting over here at his team. Oh no! Denied right at the last second again. Sniped out of the air, and oh, Shadow Master too. Launch forward, gets a kill with the shotgun. Death Throw steals it back, and this time it looks like Top Gun was able to clear out some of the players from When in Doubt Gauntlet a little bit better this time. So they'll complete the run. It does look like it's going to get immediately stolen back again, but at the very least made that process more difficult and bought the guys from Top Gun a bit more time for them to respawn and actually get in the way.
Yeah, they don't need to necessarily worry about the soul so much right now. Just get the power up 5 seconds, no matter who has the wherever the soul is. As long as you get the power up, you should have no problem getting it.
Messic's going to grab that now, but like you said before, power up spawning. It's the quad. It's going to stay down on the ground, though, even after it is initially picked up by a member of Top Gun. This is a very important power up being claimed here now by When in Doubt Gauntlet out, but he loses it. Stuck in a very tight corner there and is not able to keep it under his control. So Thump grabs it now and is able to safely get outside of this. And in the meanwhile, the soul was reclaimed for the guys on Top Gun, so they now have both the power up and the soul sitting in their obelisk. So Thump's going to try to move around, do a little bit of damage. He is quite squishy, so he does have to be careful, but the damage they can do can certainly work out for him. However, the clutch shield is going to completely negate that. Napalm moves in. Now he has the quad and is attempting to assist with his teammates trying to retreat here. In fact, he gets one kill with that rocket onto the player on the point that actually took him down just as he was getting off the site. And now it's Pyro trying to complete this run, getting very close to it now. Still really needs to take down one more player before he gets to that one. His teammates will come in to oblige and assist with that one. As Pyro does complete this run, he'll go down, and immediately again, Top Gun are looking to try and steal that soul away on the point. Won't be successful just yet. But finally, Thump will grab it. Oh no, he just throws it right onto an enemy though, and now they can run that back onto the point. As they take it in the middle though, a teammate will steal it back, however, for this red team, and they're gonna complete their run onto point B.
Napalm putting some good pressure on him with clutch and a lot of landed rockets. It was a good steal initially with the shield, but can't quite seem to sustain anything. You know, Top Gun just it's just here's spots here and there. They seem to get something going, but it just can't be sustained. They're not consistent enough. Top Gun is consistently just putting the more pressure, and that's why you just see them controlling the obelisk overall. Even when you know, Gauntlet's out, gets something going, it's never clean. It just never seems to be clean.
So Obelisk B still remains safe for right now as they inch over 90% here. A few players trying to sneak in there and steal it. They get it off, they toss it away, and it does appear as though the blue team, for the guys on When in Doubt Gauntlet out, are going to be able to escape with it here. And now attempt to run it back over to their side. A lot of resistance coming in for the red team, though. And in fact, the Sorlag from the other team makes a smart move here. Thankfully kills his opponent right next to a window out into the open. And is going to toss that away. But nice little run for the Sorlag on the blue team there. Sneaks his way through and is going to be able to complete a very fast run to the point. But there's a quad damage sitting on that now, trying to steal it away. So that is going to be dangerous here as Griffin not only has that power up, but he got the soul going for himself too. And now he's going to continue to leap forward, assisted by his team, as he should be able to make a pretty easy run. There's going to be one player resisting it here. Unfortunately, Messick chose the wrong moment to engage. Thought that was going to be the Soul Runner making it through first, but wasn't the case, and now Griffin can just go off now that he's completed his run. And we'll finally complete that sacrifice too, as after about 6.5 minutes, Top Gun finally gets round one.
Yeah, good control of the power up, and you know, I like how the team, you know, Top Gun all rallied around the soul and the power up. You know, you have a big target on your back with quad, so it's important that your teammates are there to back you up in case you do get railed or, you know, catch a rocket, something that brings you down. They need to be there to body block, kill teammates, to kill enemies around you, and pick up the, you know, the quad in case you get dropped. So it's good team play by Top Gun.
So into the second round we will go, and this is the last chance now for When in Doubt Gauntlet out. It's been a 3-0 run so far from Top Gun. When in Doubt has this last chance on their map pick to try and claim a round and attempt to win this map. Nicely done from Napalm. Nice little reverse retreat there with the soul in hand to be able to make it back over to Obelisk A. And again, reverse choices for both of these teams, so both teams are actually okay with their respective Obelisk choices, so the initial cap isn't actually that important as a result of that one. But now what is happening is that the players from the red side are moving in. And it looks like Top Gun is once again getting a very early theft of the soul to try and run it over to the other side. Napalm doing his best to resist that. The Anarchy from the red side here is getting very close to the pickup too. Doesn't happen though. Now it's picked back up by Pyro, and he will take it back over to Obelisk A.
Even though it was unsuccessful, you know, I like how Top Gun, they seem to move in as a group. Pit popped his shield, disrupted around the site. And they really went with the team approach to stealing the soul, and it looks like they're gonna be successful this time around. It just shows, the communication, the coordination, the practice. I really like to see when teams are working together like that and putting it all together.
Well, Thump has himself control. Oh, I take that back. Shadow again with this great denial, and then he gets another shot as well. So nicely done from Shadow. Single-handedly stops the guys from Top Gun on once again completing a run. Problem is he's going to have, you can see all the red players in his path right now. He's going to have a lot of problems actually making a successful run back, and just like that, Pit steals the soul away, and he's playing around with this jump pad real nicely right now. Unfortunately, this clutch is going to be a big problem for him, as now Griffin takes hold of it. He'll complete the run, but he still has to take down this clutch, and he's going to have to fight directly on the point for it. And oh, there you go. There's the rail that was needed to take out Napalm. Finally, great control being maintained, and it looks like his teammates are about ready to claim the initial power-up spawn too. They get it. It's a quad, and Thump is going to be the one wielding it. And oh, Thump was almost the one to drop it initially there. That rail could have been dangerous. They try to run this soul out. They steal it, but they're not going to get far with that quad in the way. Thump is immediately going to run it back. And now it's time for Top Gun to claim some percentage.
Yeah, nice pickup. Going nuts with the nail gun. I mean, 80 damage per hit right now with the nail gun, so people are just going to melt if he hits them.
Trying his best to spread that out and continue the spray here. More to be done with that shield getting in the way, and he's trying to shred through the shield on the gauntlet. Completes that, and also his temp stops the theft from being stolen away there. Drops the soul right back onto his point, and kills pretty much everyone else that attempts to swing in here too. Finally taken down by Napalm, however. So with that, we are going to see the guys from the blue team maybe have another gap opening up with which they can try to get into the site with. Specifically, Shadow Master at this point, moving up on top, continuing to snipe the respawns away too, so his teammate can go in and get a nice clean pick up there. And there we go. They've stolen it away. They're well on their way with that soul halfway across the map now. They're going to have to deal with some resistance, but Messick had a great diversion, moved himself to the side room here. Problem is now he's alone, and he waited so long that he let the red team catch up to him, so they're right on his tail currently. Thankfully, he's got the anarchy, so he's got the speed too to quickly run up on top, and good thing he dodged that final rail bolt. But unfortunately, there's 3 players right there for the red team. They did miss that soul toss, so Griffin has to use his dire orb to go back up there and reclaim it so it doesn't stick to the wall. But Griffin now having control of this one. Going to try to make a run back. Carefully, though. Messick moves in, drops it again, and it's going back and forth all over the place. No one can control this soul for right now. Currently under the control of Top Gun, but he tosses it away right into the blue team's hands. As now they have it, but one more. The anarchy from the red team is going to try to resist this, but he's completely surrounded here. Soul onto the ground. Death Row steals it, and now they reset it. It's too chaotic. They can't have a guaranteed win on this fight, but still, it goes back into the blue team here now. And Shadow Master going to try to complete this run. The Ranger in the way. He'll take him down. Griffin's going to go for the pickup on it, and is now trying to fight out of this one, surrounded by his teammates. I think we may finally have a player that's safe with this pickup here, and we'll be able to complete a run back over to Obelisk B so they can continue to stack up percentage here.
Yeah, it's still a lot of craziness right now. It's got to stick with your team, just keep coming in together. Top Gun just keeps putting pressure, and it doesn't really, just can't get it back to their side, So Gauntlet's out. Even any kind of momentum they get going, it just seems to be short-lived, and even then, it's always in the balance. So even then, they got it. They took the soul. They were able to kind of push towards their side, but in the end, Top Gun kind of mucked it up and blocked their path and turned it into a trading war, and then threw it out of bounds and really made it difficult on them. So you got to give them a lot of credit for the pressure they're putting on the other team, and even when it's getting a little messy, having a clear head to reset the soul. So keeping their head in the game.
Yeah, and for Gauntlet out here, they're trying to make some attempts to get over to this point, but it's all separated right now. They're trying to have guys go in and sneak through to get behind them to do a little bit of damage, not working out. Mistake there from Death Row, unfortunately. And it's gotten to a point here now, too, where players like Griffin and the Sorlag that's on the red team are free to move out. They got to be a little bit more restrained with that, as they are letting blue players, from when in doubt, sneak into their site currently. But still, Griffin's able to fall back, hold it. He just got the 5k and 1 life damage medal there, so nicely found from him. And oh, snipes the soul out of the air, too. Nicely played. Now the clutch gets it back, and Griffin's just going to continue to go off. There you go. Another double kill from him on the rails. He's got one more player that he could take down up on top, but finally smited by Pyro. And what is that? I'm just waiting outside the portal with the gauntlet in hand. Thought that could work out, but he does get embarrassed a little bit there as he is taken down. Red team just under 7% away from being able to claim this one now. It goes down, but it looks like it's getting very chaotic here. However, it's shifting it more and more into the blue team's favor as Pit's really just trying to run interference. And there you go. Shadow Master also doing some nice work too. Another double kill for him as he defends his soul carrier, and they finally complete the run back over to Obelisk A.
Yeah, power up right now, so this will seal the deal if Top Gun can get it. Oh, he fell off.
Ooh, there's a fighting going on for that one. Griffin's going to get it. It's a quad, though, and he's on a Ranger, so he's going to be a little bit careful. He can definitely find himself overwhelmed quickly if he's not careful, but at the moment, no one's really paying too much mind for him. He's able to move back in when the shield goes down. His opponent rips him to shreds. However, Shadow is sneaking in, and oh no, Hit's unfortunately going to kill himself, but in the process, he does take down the enemy carrying the quad here. Now Thump can go in, pick it back up, move back in. Oh no, that bleed is going to hurt him too. Napalm finishes him off, and Napalm trades it back. He's now got control over the quad. His opponents on the clutch are trying to steal the soul. They get it away. Still has a few more seconds left on the shield. The quad expires, and just as it does, actually no, it doesn't expire, but it was about to. Griffin thankfully took him down just as the shield was about to expire there on the clutch, and that saves the clutch's life and should let him complete this run back to the other side of the map now.
Yeah, nice shield by Pit. Really nice to secure that soul and deny the quad. You know, the quad is coming in hard.
Yeah, Pit's over here now. He's trying to stop this other clutch from stealing away the soul. They do toss it out of the sight, really just trying to delay. As now they go up to 99%, and oh, unfortunately for Pit, he was so close to being able to just toss it right back on and complete it. His teammate is going to be able to do that job for him, though, as they're getting so close to sacrificing it. And in fact, they do complete the job, so it's going to be another 2-0 run from Top Gun, and they will win out the series 2-0 as well. 4-0 on rounds, not a single round picked up right when in doubt. Gauntlet out.
Yeah, a little closer to that map, but still, Top Gun was really on top of them and just seemed to, you know, get put in the more consistent work, got the power ups. I'm sure I would imagine if I could see the full stats, I would imagine they secured more of the armor and some of the health, and so it just looked like they were doing a better job in the scrums and everything when things got messy, which will sometimes happen in Sacrifice. You know, when things are in the balance, you know, who can rally the quickest and work together the best as you regroup. And you know, as things get hectic, you know, keep a good head on your shoulders, right? Not to get too caught up in just rushing in and dying. I mean, you got to coordinate it with your team and kind of, you know, when you come back into the game and you're respawning, you know, where is your team? You know, what state are they in? Where's the soul? Where are the enemies at? You know, do I have time to grab this weapon on route to help my team, or is that too far off path and, you know, I'm gonna waste too much time, in which case now your team's fighting shorthanded. There's a lot of things in team play. It can get really dynamic, and as things speed up and it gets really hectic, it can put a lot of pressure on you. You know, that's how mistakes are happening.
That does close out one of our final matches of the day. We still have one more to come, though, and that should be coming up in just a few moments. It's going to be Totem Tellies taking on Time, and that should be coming up in just a few moments, guys. We are going to head over to a short break really quickly while we do get every player into this server, and as soon as we have them ready to rock, we'll be coming back to you with that final match of the day.